And we are recording with Mr. Schuyler Winters on Monday, May 1st. Winter. Monday, May
Winter.
1st, Winters. Monday, May 1st, 2023 at 4:07 p.m. Eastern time. Guys, you want to support the podcast, click the little red button. That's locals. You can go support the podcast there, or you can go into the description, buy some of the merch. Those are all my own custom designs. Don't be a bad person. Support the podcast. I need money. That's the bottom. That's the spoiler alert. That's the end of it all. Is I need some money. That's just it. That's it. I'm not gonna fucking dance around it. I'm not gonna tug your dick. That's what it is. But as I rudely tweet the live link on all the platforms, Skylar, please introduce yourself, man.
My name is Schuyler Winter. I'm a huge fan of brass tax sales pitches. I don't like any fluff. I like it when people just tell me, money me, give me money now, please. That's
Cut
so
right
it's
to it.
I'm really excited to be here. Um, yeah, no, I'm a gaming esports industry veteran for about 10 years. Recently worked at Rumble, which is how Tommy and I met. This is my second appearance on the podcast, and yeah, excited to be back.
People do have been still. I get questions about the last episode. They're like, "Why was it called Dead Dog Mondays?" And just to, I guess, continue the mystery around that, I've named this episode Dead Dog Mondays too. And if you know, you know, and if you don't, you're a cuck, and that's that. But have you got your? You said you're gonna try to get a gaming rig. Have you gotten one yet?
No, so my wife and I moved out here. We're in San Diego now. Last time we spoke, we were in Miami, and we got super lucky, found a place to rent, and I've got my home office, but it's covered in boxes and bags of clothes and stuff like that. I went to IKEA the first day we were here, built a little dinky desk so I could put my laptop on and do some work. Um, but outside that, it's just like nightmare levels of moving in yet to be achieved. So the gaming rig is not up to me. It's far on the list. We got to get like dressers and unpack and
Yeah, like food
do
and
all
water and all that fucking
food.
stupid
Yeah. Oh
shit.
my gosh, we ate takeout for like a full week when we moved here because the kitchen was inoperable. We didn't have any of our stuff. That was terrible. I'm too old for that. I was like, I need good, healthy home cooked meals.
I moved up here to Portland, Maine in November, and I felt so fucking retarded because like I unpacked like my bed and I put together the studio, and then everything else I just kind of left in the living room. Yeah, just piled high with boxes. And then it just dawned on me one day that like I live by myself and no one else is unpacking this. I just kept looking at it. I'm like, it'll go down. And then I was like, how? By whom? I was like, no one's no one's putting the
you
dish.
you you come home, the boxes are there. You're like, what the fuck is this still all doing
I'm
here?
like, honey, what the fuck is this?
And then it's just crickets.
Yeah,
You're like,
it's just some weird
I see what's going on here.
it's just some weird like schizo episode. I'm like screaming in the mirror. I see me as like a wife, and I'm like, Tommy, I'm sorry. And, no, but it dawned on me that not only am I the only one that's going to unpack it, something would be terribly wrong if it started to become unpacked. That would either mean
It's
I've been
just
blacking out or there's someone else here. And that's kind of that expedited me
mental illness
unpacking.
is definitely no joking matter. But if I had to have a personality disorder and it was me blacking out and my shit was just like organized and clean
The fuck?
every week, almost like a personality disorder, like cleaning lady, like you
Yeah,
like
dude.
once a week you wake up on Mondays and it's just like, what did I do? I don't remember anything, but then it's just spotless. You're like,
Whenever I get whenever I get new shit for the studio, like and not something simple where you just plug it in, but like I got to assemble a desk or something, you know, or I get like what some weird monitor stand with a bunch of you just got to go into the whatever. I'll just get fucked ass up and do it.
yeah, yeah.
I'll drink like a ton of Red Bull so I'm still focused, but I'll just get plastered. And then like I'll just be sitting there on the couch like eating Taco Bell like at 1 in the morning. And I'll kind of come to and like everything's assembled perfectly. And like because I'm fucked up, like there's no like, just get it done. I'm like, no, let's take it. Let's do it right. Let's do it. I'm like looking at the
Well, yeah,
level
you
of like
make like
the
a thing out of it. You make it fun. You're like, yeah, I'm just gonna get absolutely
just,
toasted right now, and
just fucking lit up. And while I'm doing it, I'll be like, oh, whatever. So like, I'll just run the dishes. I'll run like the laundry machine too. I'll like
yeah,
clean my sheets and like while I'm fucking, I'll be like, well, I'm already like fucked up. Like, might as well do what I don't want to do, and I'll like go like clean the bathroom, like the grimy areas that you don't want to like
yeah,
touch. I'll just go fucking
yeah.
bleach it all,
And you get stoked about it. You're like, yeah,
getting
getting
it
let me in
done.
there. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
getting the dirtiest shit. You're just like,
The shit you
yes.
never want to touch. Like,
Normally, you're like, I don't even want to think about it.
normally I'd like gag. Have you ever like undo your sink and like if it starts like draining slowly, you got to go in and like scrape like muck at.
Oh,
You just
yeah.
even though it's your stuff, it's not someone else. It's your. It's
It's
still
not. It's somebody else's. I
it's
can't
somebody
produce that.
else's.
I
No,
know.
it's.
It's got to be
Well, I've
some
only
sort
been
of
here for a
demon
couple
that lives in
months.
me.
I've only been in this
Well, they,
apartment, so it truly
yeah,
is somebody else's.
truly, definitely would be.
So yeah,
I
I
feel
mean, like
like it's such a good strat, but it's also it's high risk, high reward
it
because
is.
it's a 50-50 chance you get your stuff done, or there's a 50% chance you get sidetracked by some rabbit hole that you got to
Yeah,
you dive down, and you're like, you had this one thought enters your mind, and then six
you're like,
hours later, you're like, I wrote a screenplay.
you know, no, you do come to, and
Okay,
you're writing like a 9 paragraph reply on Reddit. You're like, listen up, fuckwad.
that's what it is.
Yeah,
The screenplay is me trying to pretend like I actually accomplished something good for my life. But no, you're
screenplay
right. It's
is
a petty
making the
argument that you've thought out every single nuance on Reddit or on Twitter.
yeah. You realize you're like, why am I? Oh wow, I'm texting my ex. You're like, this is not good. You're like, this is no good.
But being productive has its drawbacks, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it is well, it's such a fine line too because like the very fact that like you haven't done it till now is proof that you have thus been procrastinating, right? So like this table or like the table that all this podcast shit is on. It was like in my like closet. It was just in a big fucking box for my closet for like 2 weeks. So the very fact that like I made a day to get drunk and do it implies that I was procrastinating, which means that there is a nugget of procrastination somewhere in me, right?
Mm.
You're cooking with fire when you get shit faced because you could very well, if you're willing to procrastinate sober, lit up, you might just be like, fuck it. I'm not doing that shit. Fuck that gay table.
Yeah.
So that's also part of it. And then, but I have found if I do start it, I've never like done it incorrectly. I've never like looked at it the next day and it's lopsided. Like if I do put my mind to like cleaning the apartment drunk, it's immaculate. It is the
But yeah,
job is just done correctly.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
vacuuming under my refrigerator, like shit I would never do. Like cleaning like my pillow sheets. Like
That'd be a great sales pitch if you were on like Fiverr or something. Like you needed a moonlight, just it's a way to set yourself apart. Like, I won't just clean your apartment. I'll do it while absolutely hammered. And a few people will be like, this person means business.
yeah,
They're not fucking around.
this guy doesn't
They're
like
gonna get the gunk out that belongs to my former tenant or whatever from 6 years
I'll
ago.
I'll do the gross shit. That's how fucked up I'm getting. Like, hey man, I need you to go in there and like unclog the toilet. But I got to let's do it. And like I have done that, man, and it's worked incredibly. It really
Yeah,
has. You wake up
yeah.
the next day and you're almost kind of like tickled. You're like, well, who came here last night? And you're like looking around, you're a little proud. Like your sink is just sparkling. It all smells of like lime disinfectant. And you're like, I did the
I'm
shower
getting
too.
I'm getting jealous. I'm
Yeah.
getting jealous right now. I want that to happen in my place right now.
Well, it's great because it can happen and it's not you, it's someone else.
Right.
I mean, I'll almost be like pleasantly surprised. I'll go in and shave in the shower and I'll be like, I put on a new razor head. Like everything
Right.
is everything is perfect. Like, yeah. But I don't know how we got on that. Moving in, drunk.
Solid tangent. Real
Yeah.
quick, I do want to shout out. I saw my little homestead and what up Ian in the chat. So what's up, guys?
Oh,
Uh,
I don't even look what up yet. No, I don't look at the live chat when I have a guest on because
oh, really?
I'm always if I'm doing like a solo episode, I guess someone like you, where like if I have on someone and like this, like you and I are having a more relaxed conversation, I probably could. I do it when I do
Yeah.
the video game chats. The reason why
With
I
the
don't,
with the one-on-one, you want to zero in, right?
yeah, but it's admittedly a lazy tactic by me. That's probably more important for like it's more important for like authors and doctors where like I need to be there. But something like now,
Yeah,
or even the last episode I
yeah.
was doing with my buddy Clay, we're just shooting the shit about fucking like QAnon and you know the
I saw
Illuminati.
that. I caught the last
Oh god.
like little bit of it. I was like, I didn't realize you were live, so I was like just checking out. So I had like the channel handy, and you were live, and I started listening. I was like, holy shit, what am I what am I
Oh dude.
following? This is like so intense.
Oh no, dude, that was great. Clay's a former Green Beret, and
Yeah,
oh, we just went in and we made fun of QAnon for like a half hour, and then we just went down this rabbit hole about like fucking aliens on the moon and pedophiles running the planet, and it was a great one. It was an
yeah,
unhinged
that's a
episode.
solid episode.
It is, and that's like a litmus test though. It's like some people view that and they come on the show and they go, "That was funny." Some people view it and just I get an email about like I will not be appearing on your show.
Really?
Oh yeah, no, you'll get that. You'll get that.
Yeah,
Yeah. But fuck those people.
yeah, totally.
Like it's not they're compartmentalized episodes. Like that's easy for me to say as the host, as opposed to
Well,
someone else
yeah,
who's like,
I people are so worried about their personal branding and PR and shit like that. It's like, can you not just go have a conversation with somebody regardless of like anything else?
yeah.
Like I don't get it, but it's everywhere.
I mean, and no, I don't get it. I mean, what I do like is like some of like the most professional people I've ever had on here, like Dr. Malone or something. Hi, puppy. Like Dr. McCullough or someone. They're not like they're not stupid. They see the other episodes I do. They know some
Right.
of the crazy shit I yell about, but they also understand when they come on, I button it up and I go full professional, like PG, clean. We're
Yeah.
focusing on your research paper.
Yeah.
And like to me, that's like a well-rounded human. Is yeah, they know I'm not gonna start yelling about Epstein's Island or something.
Yeah. Well, it's also like, I mean, people hold everyone to the same sort of bar. Like it's like you're an entertainer and your sort of podcast is different. Like it's not like appearing on 60 Minutes. It's like,
No.
whoa, hang on, what is this? You know, like,
Yeah.
but I think what I love about podcasting and just sort of this generation where it's like two normal people can sit down and have a conversation is like it takes all of those guardrails off and you can actually get down to some really interesting like truths and stuff when you remove that sort of like, oh, I got to watch out, like, oh, I know I can't go on your podcast because you said this or did this one time. It's like, okay, well, you're just shutting down a conversation, you know. Be more interested, be more ballsy if you were like, I want to come on, I want to ask you about that. I sort of that made me uncomfortable. Why did you decide it? Like, was it a joke or, you know, that's interesting. Cause then you're at least saying like this whole, you know, everything nowadays is just, nope, I don't want to engage.
Yeah.
Okay.
I, I have had that conversation offline where like I was gonna have like a big doctor or someone, and then they would see like, let's say they watched this episode. They might get to me and be like, "What was that about?" And I'll tell them, I'll be like, Schuyler's my buddy, and like we were just shooting this shit. And some episodes are like that. Other ones are very, very professional and
Mm,
restrictive and conservative. And like I've had doctors go, "Oh, okay, yeah, no, that's fine. Thank you for explaining." And they'll come on. And it's like, I
yeah.
respect that. Like,
Yeah. Totally.
that's fine to
Yeah.
have some
Yeah.
reservations if you're the
Yeah.
if you're the head of a department and you
Yeah.
see me.
I'm not advocating don't do your due diligence for sure.
Yeah.
But I think just the,
I mean,
you
I
know,
I get it. You've never seen me before and you're the head of molecular biology at a university and you tune into a live stream and I'm talking about sacrificing babies to Moloch. Like, yeah, I get your reticence. you know. I, I understand where you might want to scroll through my library and wonder who else has been on there. But there's also this like sort of fake it thing where
yeah.
I've had on so many professional people, and a lot of the people I've had on are actually like idols of other guests,
Hmm.
like Pulitzer Prize winning authors or journalists or something. So I'll get on someone that's kind of hesitant to come on, but they'll be like, "You've had my role model on." So I don't want to turn it down. So it's this weird sort of like compromise they make where they're like, I don't know who Tommy is, and I don't know if I trust him, but I look up to so and so who's 80, and he's been on
Yeah.
the show 10 times, and he comes on, and he's
Yeah.
calling Tommy nicknames. He's like, "What up, T?" And so they're like, I don't know what to do. And they would rather just not challenge their whole worldview. Instead, they just submit and come on. And
Hmm.
that's kind of funny as well.
Well, that's just cool in and of itself that people would be like, "Oh, you had on my role model."
Oh yeah, no, that's like the best flex ever. Is when like I'm 32. I'll have on a doctor who's 52, and they'll be like, "Oh, you've interviewed so and so who's 82 like 10 times." And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Whoa." They're like, "I've been trying to get in touch with them for years." I'm like, "Yeah, do you want his phone number?" They're like, "What the fuck?" It's like, yeah. And when you come from that standpoint, you have leverage. You're like, "Oh, I can say whatever I want now. This person's not gonna not come on."
Yeah.
That's kind of fun too. But I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm just getting more used to the podcast or if I'm getting more confident in it. But I'm finding less and less that I'm already pretty like freewheeling.
Hmm.
But I find that like I'm taking off whatever, to quote you, whatever guardrails were remaining anyway. And I don't know if that's good or bad.
I
Yeah.
think it's good. I've come around to this whole notion that like at the end of the day, like every single time and I think this goes out to like culture and politics and life and everything, but every time you water something down or you don't kind of you aren't really honest, you aren't true, you're either kind of cutting something off that's going to come back to bite you later, um, or you're reducing your effectiveness. Like, and I'm getting this from like kind of political stuff that I listen to, but it's just like, I think like the trans issue is the perfect example, right? Where it's like, no, you can't because of the kids. And it's like, why can't we just say like that's just not good for society in general? Why do we always have to caveat it?
Yeah.
You know? But it's that to me is just like the really like easy to understand example, but it's with everything, you know? And
The,
then before you know it, 10 years later, you're like fighting back against it, being like, no, 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 you can do whatever you want, just don't touch the kids. And it's like you sound like you have Stockholm syndrome.
it is a weird series of compromises,
It's just
right?
compromise after compromise after compromise. And then like what ends up happening is you just get these like very just totally on the other end, these people that are like, I've had enough, and that I've had enough thing, like, I think it kind of came to fruition with Trump, and but it didn't. It certainly didn't get. They didn't get their appetite full. Like
Yeah.
they didn't get what they wanted by any means, right? If
No.
anything, they got and it 10 times back to bite them. So like it still exists. I don't know what's gonna happen with Trump on this whole all these
Indictment.
indictments and all this nonsense, but like, it people are so fixated on people. Like, oh, that person is the leader of that movement. It's like it's pretty irrelevant. Like, yeah, maybe for a period of time that sentiment doesn't have a voice, but it's still there, it's still
Yeah.
growing, it's still evolving and changing, and those conversations are still happening at the dinner table and at the bar and whatever. But just because you take out, you know, what one guy, the guy that got it done before. It's like, what do you think you're done? Do you think that's
Yeah.
going anyway? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so,
It's when we tried to bomb Vietnam in a submission. Like this,
right.
the ideology is still there.
Ideology. Well, I mean, like, I think, well, that's just like, and I guess it's technically true of politics as well. Like, whether something's like kinetic warfare versus, this is all, it hasn't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just the irregular thing with Vietnam or Afghanistan. It's like, you, and plenty of people have talked about this, but it's sort of like when you're the insurgent, you have like nothing to lose,
Nothing. You have everything
and
to win.
the war could take 100 years.
You don't care.
When you're not, it's like you have stakeholders and you have a timeline and you have things like you have different win conditions. And your win conditions are way harder to achieve when you have these constrictions like a timeline.
The guy just had on Clay Martin, former Green Beret, served in Afghanistan, Iraq, and he talks now. He's like, now I understand where they came from. He's like, we used to be so like we're coming in there with satellite reconnaissance, drones. We're using biometric markers, thermal vision, sniper suppressed, and these guys are running around in sandals with AKs.
Yeah.
And they'll throw 50 of their guys for every one of our guys.
Yeah.
And like, why are they doing this? Like, we are gods to them. And he's like, and now he talks about, he's like, yeah, when you see like fucking grown men dressed as drag queens, like dancing in front of kids, and you go, I will never let this touch my child. He goes, for better or worse, right or wrong. He goes, you look at them and they've lived there for 10,000 years. And so who the fuck is this imperialist army of white guys coming in here?
Yeah.
A lot of them had never heard of 9/11. They'd never seen a television. So to them, who the fuck are you?
Right.
And I think his line is, I now understand that grandfather with the rifle.
Totally.
Fuck off. 20 years, whatever. We'll do 100.
And they have been, right? I mean, like, especially Afghanistan, it's been.
They kicked out the Soviets in the 70s. Didn't they beat like Alexander the Great?
Yeah, it's just like their pastime is insurgency. Like, what do you think you're gonna win?
You're gonna come in here?
I actually find it really refreshing because, I'm very pro 2A, and one of the things I went to acting school, which was obviously full of sort of lefties, and we'd get into like good conversations. When 2A came up, I didn't, try to do the NRA thing where it was like, oh no, like hunting, yada yada, has home defense, yada yada. And it was like, no, the purpose of the Second Amendment is, really to protect against a tyrannical
to kill
government.
the government if they come for you
To
and your
kill
family. That's what it is. It's called what it is. I know the FBI watches my show already, so fuck off.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact they do. Yeah, no, the purpose of the Second Amendment wasn't to go hunting. It was written by a bunch of guys who just killed the fucking government there and then started their own.
They were like, whoa, yeah, they were like, and basically, the Constitution, all that goes to print, and the guys were like, one, real quick, love the free speech idea, by the way, real quick, we have guns. We always have guns, and like just make sure that it's really unconfusing, regardless of the generation you read it in. Make sure that you could not possibly misinterpret we get the guns situation. And somehow
you really got to sit with the weight of that. The guys are going, we're setting up a new government. People need to understand that they should be able to kill the government, but that's us. Yeah, no. I'm not mincing my words here. If we turn rogue, they need to be able to kill us. And they all, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a bunch of moments and decisions and things like that come out of the American Revolution that really set it apart and make it unique and make our country interesting, which is, that I think Washington's decision to leave, right? He could have been king for his whole life.
Yeah.
But he said, no, that's not what this is about. It's not why we just fought this war. And so those ideals, like they made sacrifices for those ideals.
Yeah.
But yeah, so how did we get on 2A?
2A, NRA, compromise. No, you said you were at the acting school and you were like, no, it's not a hunting thing. It's no, you.
Oh yeah, no, it's refreshing because like one of the things is like, well, so what? Okay, so what? You're gonna like, they've got like drones and shit, and they've got like F-16s, and like at first glance, you're like, shit, like good point. It's not a bad point.
No, it's a great point.
But it's also like, it's a great point, but it's also like, so have you heard of Afghanistan?
Well, that's the
like have you heard of like these people that live in the desert and like all they have is like 30-year-old AK-47s, but they cannot be conquered? Like,
no, so that's what I always watch. No, and it's a great point. Yeah, sure. Geospatial surveillance from orbit. Yeah,
it'd be tough. Don't get me wrong, it's gonna be tough.
Schuyler and I will be killed. But I have no illusions about this, right? I'm friends with some like former Delta Force guys who like will survive the revolution. I'm very open about I'm a very open pro voice. I will be killed as this will be a symbolic kill. They will drone me to break the back of people. I get it. I'm good with God. I make peace. I call my mom every night. There's nothing on my soul. I'm good. I've made peace with it. I know how this show ends. It's with a hellfire missile fucking sending me to the next realm. I get it, right?
Yeah. Your tombstone should be like, how was the show or something like that. Just reference your own demise. Get it started now.
Written on the wait, what?
On the headstone.
I thought you meant like written on like the hellfire missile or something. Yeah, sometimes they'll write
Yeah,
stuff.
you could do that. You could ask for a key atomic quote to be on the missile that takes you out.
Because like in like World War II, they'd like write stuff like to Hitler with love or something when they drop
Oh
bombs
yeah.
and stuff. They like write it with chalk. They used to, I think when we shelled Berlin on like Easter, they wrote like Happy Easter, and like I just kind of hope that whoever fires the missile, it just says like I'm a fan. Sorry, orders are orders or something. Like
Yeah.
I'd respect
Might be,
that.
bro.
Yeah, I'd be might might be a long time supporter. Like
Here's
that'd be
my
like
last donation.
it's like like Jesus forgiving like the two thieves on the cross. Like I forgive you, dude. Guy from the F-16. I'm like, I got you, man. I understand that. I'm not
You're good.
implying I'm not implying I'm Jesus. I understand I just lost half my subscribers. But like no, that is the like no, we won't win. Not you and I, but you cannot say they're this omnipotent force and then go, how did they lose in Afghanistan and Iraq? How did they?
Mm.
Because these are the very same people that will, more than
Well, they'll
anyone
always
else.
lose. They'll
Well, no,
always
no, no.
lose. That's
The
what's
people
so
that are
annoying.
pointing out, the people that are pointing out that the government will win against you, often the kind of more left, the more anti-war, and there are it has its values. They're the ones that will point out quicker than anyone else that we lost in Vietnam, we lost in Korea, we haven't won since World War II. So how are they going to win here? If we're not, why didn't we nuke the Middle East? Well, we don't want to irradiate the land. Okay. If they're not willing to dial it up to 11 in a foreign territory full of brown people, why would they dial it up to 11 here?
Yeah, I mean, like I agree with you. I didn't Joe Biden threaten nukes though,
No, I think
or
that
did he
was,
threaten?
I think that
I
was,
know he threatened F-16s.
yeah, no, he said to fight the government, you need F-16s, which, okay. So that means that AR-15s should be good, right? Because we can't do anything anyway, so let us have it.
I feel like he did. I feel like he did
No, he
threaten
did. He said,
nuking.
no, I think you're right. He said we have F-16s and nukes.
Yeah,
It was Representative Swalwell a couple years ago who said the government has nukes. No, but no, Biden did say that last year. You need F-16s and nukes.
yeah.
And then so the
I
question,
mean,
right? You have people say, "What do you think that the average citizen should be able to own tanks?"
well,
Yeah,
here's the other thing: is like, I mean, no disrespect to Afghanistan, but like, all of the the Clays of the world and stuff like that, like they're on our side.
yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah,
like they're gnarly. Like you're like
dude, these guys are
we have
fucking more
it's
hardcore than
it's
you can
gonna
wrap
be
your mind
it's
around.
gonna be asymmetric, no question. But like we have some like major first round draft picks. You know what I mean?
Animals,
Like a lot of them.
animals,
Absolute animals. Just
animal.
people like and they're also I would even say they don't the government doesn't have any first they have the heavy ordnance, right? And they have the surveillance and
Well, who's that
that
operated
kind of
by
stuff.
though? I've I'm
It's
friends with a lot
true.
of people that do operate like surveillance
It's
shit.
true. So let's cut to the chase.
They're
Like
American through and
what
through.
I mean, like really what happens? So I'm so curious. I'm so curious about the next what are it's 23. The next 40 years are gonna be like that's our life.
Yeah.
We're gonna be old men. But like I I hate to say it, I don't see it going like really like it's not gonna be like
No,
nice. If I'm being honest, like I don't
no,
want to
it's
say that. But like my whole life has been really nice. Right?
yeah.
It was like late 80s to
Oh,
now
peak American Empire.
amazing, right? So, but like, I don't really see that continuing. You got the problem, like the dollar. I'd be shocked if we're using the dollar in 10 years,
I'd be shocked if we're using it before the decade's out.
right? Like, that's a hugely disrupting thing.
That is beyond the scale of that is so the implications of that are so earth shattering and just no one
It's
even talk.
crazy.
It makes 9/11 look like a picnic. The
Oh my
dollar
God.
not being the world reserve. We've been the world reserve since like 1945 in the Bretton Woods conference. Like
Yeah. Forget the world reserve. I mean, like used, like in commerce.
Oh yeah. No.
Because
That's
usually, I feel like with every other currency, like it can like get crazy
fluctuate.
inflated and people figure it out, and it still sticks around. I feel like if the dollar gets knocked down, it's not gonna like trickle. Just gonna fall off a cliff and it's gonna be dead.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that,
I sound like a crypto bro right
which is why you got to invest in TPC coin. TPC coin's worth
now.
nothing.
Do you have a coin?
No, no, dude. I have slippers. That's it. I'm wearing slip. That's my ownership role in the world right now is slippers. My crypto is this podcast. Um, my crypto is the number of like I'm sure sealed warrants the FBI has on me. That's my value. It's backed by. That's what it's backed by. Tommy coin. But
Give me some.
so I'll give you some. You can already have some. So what will happen is, if you walk it out and you go, well, who is really on the government side? You probably have some like true believers. You probably have, honestly, you probably have some cowards who are just like, I'm just following orders. I'm just following Altos Mafia, like those
I
people.
think you got to say first off, you have 90% that are just going to do whatever. Like they're just going to go with whatever way the wind's going.
Yeah, they're
They'll
just, yeah,
just
they're
they're
just
just
going,
people.
they just don't,
They're just
yeah,
regular people.
they're
Yeah,
people that just want their fucking dinner. Like,
yeah, that's
and,
it. That's
I'm so,
that's almost everybody.
and I'm sympathetic to that. But the most lethal and most effective people, you don't you don't get to Delta Force by being wishy-washy. Like
Right.
they are broken mind, body, and soul to see what you're
Yeah.
made of. Those are
And
people
they
who
all take a vow to this
to the
country,
Constitution, not to
to
the
the
president,
Constitution.
to the
Yeah.
Constitution. So the most effective people are not going to be for the government. You're also going to have some people that are going to stay behind and sabotage it from within. So I think the people at the very top probably know this, but they don't admit to it. So what the reason why they've never like cracked down, like martial law has never actually happened, is because I think they know that it's a bluff. But if they move and the bluff is called, the whole charade, everyone sees it as a facade and their power's gone.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think they know that they just have to kind of keep, I don't know, kind of like making empty threats. You want to take this outside, bro? But they're never
Pretty
actually going
much.
to take it outside because by
Right.
staying in that fog of what word am I looking for? Ambiguity. There's still that. Well, they might actually. We don't know. We're like maybe they could do martial law. So there's that. The threat still holds weight. Versus like,
Yeah.
like if the president came out during COVID and said we're establishing martial law, and just like all the National Guard said no, that would destroy the power of the president forever. Like they'd be like, we're gonna aid Ukraine. Everybody'd be like, pussy. Like, no, you're not. By like not calling their own bluff, it still holds some power because we don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. No, I think I completely agree with the idea that right now it's just all hot air. And I think everybody knows it's hot air. I just think things haven't gotten bad enough where people want to call the bluff. Because the calling of the bluff is not just flip over your cards and I win the pot. It's okay,
Well,
flip
it's the
over
end
your
of life
cards.
as
I
you
know
know
you
it.
don't have shit. Yeah, it's like our whole country just like. But here's the thing: is I am a believer in this whole idea that there's like this sort of like I think we're growing an economy in parallel with the current one, right? And
Mm,
really, what it takes is for that to start to, the
mature.
term mainstream.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a word we all know, but increasingly is losing its meaning.
Mm.
And mainstream is almost becoming less mainstream, if that makes sense.
And I use this analogy. It's when you're like watching a fire, you're at a bonfire or something. You throw a bunch of logs on there, and they're all heavy, and you're throwing them on there, and you light it, and you crack a beer, and you and your friends are just shooting the shit, and it's burning, burning, burning. And your memory of that is like heavy, heavy logs. So it's this big pile of 500 pounds of wood, but it's getting like hollowed out and turned to just carbon. And then finally it just goes and like sparks fly, and the whole thing collapses.
Yeah.
You go, how the fuck did that happen? Well, it's been
Yeah.
happening for 3 hours. We've been drinking and shooting the shit, cleaning
Yeah.
toilets or whatever. And like then all of a sudden it collapses. Up until it collapses, it's still, well, that's the fire. And but so that's a 3 hour timeline. What's like a 300-year timeline? Is there is a mainstream, there is the powers that be.
Mm.
It's being hollowed out. And at any moment it could just vaporize.
Absolutely. And but I think really what's happening is it's being vaporized from within. And I think we don't see, this is why I say, like, I think that bonfire analogy is awesome. But what I would say is I think underneath that, those logs, new logs are actually taking its place. And we just can't see it.
Oh, sure.
And then when the shell burns off, it will reveal, oh no, I mean, this is the like the super white pill, take on it.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, that's actually all of this structure it's still there. It can still be supported, right?
Yeah.
Because and it's the genius of the foundation of this country, which is like, oh, it all actually boils down to the local, right? Like your local school, like the teacher's still going to show up. She's still going to care for those kids because she cares,
Yeah.
right? Like your local church is still going to run. It's just going to get more full,
Yeah.
right? Like that's where I think the what I believe and I really hope is true is like the foundation of this country represents this solution to the endless cycle of violence that's existed for human history, where you have governments and tyrannies, and then there's blood, and it's like then something else comes and replaces it, but they were obviously corrupt, and so they're dead, and and it's just this awful sort of thing where you get one that kind of like maintains itself, but it's still based on blood and violence and all this sort of stuff. And this is really, the first one that's like, oh no, it's almost like it's like an intelligent system. Like it has a way of kind of like almost like cells, right? Can say like, oh, these are the bad cells. We're gonna push those out and then kind of regrow from within. It's just sort of like that regrowing process needs to be the focused
Mm.
rather than what I think so often. And I think personally, when I look at sort of the landscape of the country, I think this is going to come from the right. I don't think it's going to come from the left. I think history has shown that when it comes from the left, it's like actually those are the bad cells, and it's like it's just it paves the road with death. So I think it's going to come from the right, but like we haven't actually really had it. It's like it exists within the people, and you see it in these moments like the Tea Party and Trump and stuff like that. And I don't know what's next, but it's never really come around and said this is what we're creating underneath the bonfire, right? Rather than saying, God, this bonfire is awful. It's like way too hot in here. We hate this. This sucks. Like, no, not trainings. Like, we don't want that for kids or anything like this. It's just like, yeah, okay, let's just say yes. We all agree on the stuff we don't like, and that Joe Biden's a criminal. Like, why you're not? Who are you convincing? Why are we talking about this right now? Like, this is such a waste of time. Fox News, all this stuff. It's just like you're like, yeah, we get it. We know, man. Please stop. Please stop with you're just in the cycle. You're part of the problem.
Mm.
But like, come out and be like, okay, well, what do we want to take its place?
Yeah.
What do we want here? And I feel like with like, you know, like I said, I think a new economy is coming up, and maybe we can, these businesses. I think the direct to consumer model and all this stuff, and then the freedom of information. I mean, like things like Rumble. I think it's all of these different things combined help to sort of solidify that structure, and we really need to just at a certain point say like, I don't give a fuck what the legacy care like says and does, and like fuck that. I'm just like focused on this. And I think there's some people and things that are doing that, but for the most part it's still feels like we're like, getting all mad about Tucker Carlson getting fired. I don't know anything about
I don't
that,
know
but like
shit about that.
it's just like I'm like I don't care. Do I think Tucker Carlson is like the savior? I actually think I think he's gonna run. I think this is
Oh,
a
really?
I think this is a ploy. I heard something that his father actually worked for the CIA for his whole career, and he basically ran propaganda in Latin American countries. And it's like, wow, it's total coincidence that the son of
It's,
the CIA spook, who is like a propaganda
isn't it
master.
Anderson Cooper like like legacy of like Vanderbilt and CIA.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
that's a
like,
funny coincidence.
dude, there's so many funny coincidences.
Just these are a
It's
hoot.
actually
These
life
are
is
a,
just one giant comedy special.
I hope fucking Tucker Carlson just shows. I hope he goes dark for a couple weeks and just shows up in the Taliban. That would be. I would be so happy if he joined Al Qaeda and was like, "I'm fighting for the one true Allah." Um, it's got hold it down. I really got to piss, dude. Hold it down. Tell everybody where to find you. I think your Twitter's in the description. I don't know. Tell them where else to find you.
Yeah, I will. Let me look up my Twitter real quick. Uh, I should know this, but I don't. It's at SVRW_JR. Um, yeah, so I guess I have the mic now. Um, but yeah, I hope this has been a optimistic conversation, not a negative one. There's a lot of negativity out there in the world, and I don't want to be adding to it for sure. Beautiful day out. I don't know how long Tommy's pisses usually take. Um, but yeah, hit me up on Twitter. Let me know your thoughts. I do think curious if anybody else has thoughts about Tucker running. I feel like I feel like Tucker's role at Fox has been to be the negotiator between the base, the Trump base, and you know, establishment Republicans. And he's always leaned their side. So to me, it would make a lot of sense. I think a lot of the Trump's base has left him because of some of the COVID stuff, and also at the end of the day, he was really ineffective. So I mean, Tucker is one of the biggest personalities out there. What's up, bro?
I'm joining you in the jacket gang. My window's open. It says it's 63, but it's fucking freezing in here. Sorry, as you're
Okay.
saying, Tucker Carlson, Al Qaeda.
No, I was trying to rationalize why I thought he might be running. Is that I I think, and this is like, I mean, like I've always been a fan of Tucker and a lot of the stuff he's done, but I think that CIA connection with his that is
You
spooky.
can't, you can't, you can't just look away from that.
So, but like, why put him there? Like, what's the role? And I think it was basically the negotiator between
Controlled off.
Trump's base. Yeah, it was Trump's base. He's controlling the base and speaking their language and leaning into the stuff, but staying away from the most pivotal pieces,
Yeah.
right?
The permanent
Um,
war economy, selling off the strategic oil reserve.
yep. I think the election stuff too. I think he didn't. I mean, I don't
No,
think he really dove in on that.
I think he was saying the night of the election, he was like, there is no fraud. There is no,
Right.
he was right there
So
saying, like, this is normal that the vote counting stopped.
yeah,
Everyone just
which
forgets
and
that.
I this is not my own thought, but I've heard this like it like a lot of the Trump or Tucker fans would be like making excuses for that kind of behavior, like, oh, he's doing the best he can. That's like, really?
Fuck off. Eat a dick.
Right?
It's not the best he
So
can.
but he's the guy, right, in terms of conservative media and has been for the last 5 years. Um, but I think it would be a really interesting for him to run. Like if you get a DeSantis, Tucker, Trump primary, I'm already discounting Nikki Haley. She's done. It's not happening.
I want to see. Do you think, and this isn't even like a meme question. Do you think Rogan will ever run?
No,
I think he will.
I would. I'd go hard in the paint to bet he doesn't.
He probably doesn't. I mean, I've
Why
absolutely,
would he?
I don't know.
He's even said. I think he's even said like, what? Who would want that job?
But
It's so much
I think
responsibility.
that's what would make people want to vote for him is you
Yeah,
know
I
him
think
better
people would
than
want.
somebody goes on a campaign virtue of the fact that they're and by the way I have no stake in this. I don't give a shit. I'm just throwing it out there as an idea. We can say, do you think a unicorn's gonna fuck Michael Jordan tomorrow? I don't care. But like, you know him better. And I know a lot of people hate him and think he's a fucking Nazi, but I don't, who gives a shit? I'm just throwing it out there as an idea. And if you don't like it, I don't kill yourself. But like, you know him, you know him better than by going on a campaign. You have already admitted you're on a campaign. You are clearly trying to win someone over, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know your partner 10 years in a relationship a lot better than on like the second date. And it's like you
Right.
are trying to be the best man you can be. You're trying to,
Yeah.
you know, versus who someone really is for all
Per
their
per
flaws.
capita, there are more people that quote unquote intimately know Joe Rogan than probably any other person on the planet.
Also, there's my point. And
Yeah.
if here's a guy that
That's
has
I think
never,
that's it though.
and if here's a guy that's never wanted to run, so you just see him, and after whatever, a 2,000 episodes, 3 hours each, you go, I don't think this is an act. I think this is who he is, for better or worse.
Yeah,
And he's
totally.
talked to people from all walks of life, from every. He is a diplomat from every country, from fucking Navy SEAL to whatever watercolor painter to Bernie Sanders to Alex Jones, and he can be an adult and not try to play I gotcha, just hear him out and try to find the
I think
pragmatically who would be more an effective president.
totally. The other thing that I think would be really interesting is he's extremely good at asking questions. So like he is actually really so he knows a ton of stuff. A lot of it is like conspiracy theory like stuff, but like he is really knowledgeable about a lot of different fields, which is like great. That's important. I've always hated that in politics. They're like, what's your answer to this? What's your answer to that? And I'm like, I don't want to elect a guy who has the answers to everything for running the the most powerful country on the planet with 330 million people. Like, if anyone pretends to be able to accomplish like 5% of the answers to those questions, I'm like, you are full of shit,
Yeah,
right?
that's a
Like,
psychopath.
but what I love a guy totally, but like what I love a guy who can be like, who has demonstrated the ability to ask questions so that he can quickly kind of get to the right answer or get to the truth. Like you've seen him do it with some big names, like the Mark Zuckerberg interview I'm thinking of. He kind of like, he was like, okay, cool, appreciate the answer, but like, did you censor the Hunter Biden
Yeah,
story? But like, you know what I mean? Like he can kind of vet people very well, and like it's all about who you have around you. I know people always say that, but I think it's true, and actually, I think it's why um really kind of didn't do as good a job as he could have. I'm gonna refill my coffee. I'll keep talking because I think my earbuds will be okay.
no, you're fine. You're fine. He's not going to get coffee. He's going to get
No,
whiskey and meth.
no, it's
He's
just right in here. I'm
he's
just in the
grinding
kitchen.
up. No, he's grinding up Adderall and putting it in grain alcohol. I respect it. I'm not criticizing him. I know what you're doing. I know what your games are. You fucking lying piece of shit trying to pull fast on me. Um, yeah, and then but kind of a perfect catch 22. All of these things, but I don't think he'd run because he's also smart enough to know that it's a shit job and that
Right.
everyone's gonna fucking hate you. You'll never find peace again. You need a security detail to the day you die. But he already has a security detail, and a lot of people already hate him.
No, but he does it for the good of the country.
Maybe. I mean, I also, I always have a soft spot in my heart for Rogan. I started listening to him in December 2011. I didn't even know he had a podcast. So I just found these clips of him online. I vividly remember my best friend Matt texted me. He was like, "Hey, Rogan talks like we talk." Or he's like, "The Fear Factor guy talks like how we talk when we're really high," and he's just talking about galaxies and shit. And I was like, "Oh, there's the Fear Factor guy." He was normally like making people drink horse cum, but whatever. Now he's talking about AI, and I was like, "Oh, it's fascinating." I didn't even know he had a
Yeah.
podcast. I was just
Yeah.
like, finally dawned on me one day, like a year later. I'm like, "Where are all these clips emanating from?" And then I realized he had a show, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't fuck that. I don't want to listen to that." But I just remember I was like, oh, this is so like real. It's like 3 hours. And you first listen to it, you're like, oh, this isn't professional. He's sponsored by the Fleshlight. But then you start listening to it more and more, and you're like, well, this is what a real conversation is.
Yeah.
It's up until now, if someone turned a camera on, you had to, and we're live in 3, 2, 1, versus like, no one actually talks like that. They talk like this. You just sit around and fucking
Yeah.
just shooting the shit. And so I think I have a soft spot for him and that I do think he's a good person. I do think he's just trying to do whatever. but I could also be fooled. I mean, I don't know. It's my own cognitive dissonance might not see, and I'm open to that.
No, I'm for the. Oh, Jesus, sorry, I was wiping off my screen and you're somewhere else. Um, no, I'm the same way. I think like the one thing I'll say for him is that it feels like more than anybody else, he's not taking direction from anybody.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit less. Like I do think he goes easy on the left and stuff like that. For a lot of stuff, like, but I think he just kind of says his and does what he wants to do and talks to who he wants to talk to. But I do think he intentionally strays away from topics for sure. Like that's fine. He's not like, the bad thing would be if he's coming out and like condemning stuff. Like I don't think I've ever heard him like really condemn anything. Right? He's which it feels like you are playing to the powers that be, right? Like you see you see Pearl, do you know Pearl? It's Pearly Things.
No.
So she recently interviewed Nick Fuentes like a couple months ago.
Like I have Fed.
And Nick Fuentes?
Isn't he a
I don't
Fed?
know. I don't know. I
I
don't think
have
so.
no idea. It's not.
I know that's the accusation.
I just recognize the name.
Um
I've realized as I said that I don't even know what he's from. How baseless
he
my accusations are. Isn't he a Fed? Who? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean he could be, but so could I.
Sorry, go on. Yeah, no. You and I are actually both Feds. We don't know. You and I are in Fed training right now. We're both trying to bust each other.
Yeah. But no, she took a lot of flack for interviewing him. Um and she issued this apology, which was really sad. You could tell she was just pressured into doing it. But then she kind of got I saw this video with her and these guys from trigonometry. And they were basically scolding her after the apology, like still. And it was a little bit like, like, who are you? Like, what the fuck are you? Why are you scolding me right now? Right? Like, these are two independent creators, and one is sort of like trying to get her to almost like re-apologize on their platform, right? It was very bizarre. And what I loved was that she responded by interviewing Nick again. She basically just like gave a finger to him and like had him back on and had a couple new interviews.
That's great.
Which that's what I like about Joe is like he's never I don't think he's ever issued an apology for anything, as far as I know.
No. Yeah, no, he brings Alex Jones on again. Like,
Yeah, right, exactly. He's like,
yeah, fuck off.
but he doesn't do it because he wants to like I think Pearl did that to basically say fuck off.
She did it to say fuck.
Alex, Joe and Alex are like friends. He's like, he doesn't have Alex on the next month or whatever, but he does have him on to like say his piece about the whole Sandy Hook thing.
Yeah.
I think is good. Like
Yeah. No, it comes back to the compromise thing where there is something like poetic about if you make compromises, like the very world around you will start to become compromised, right? Like if you don't pay off your fucking rent or something, you take out a loan to pay the rent, like that's a band-aid now, but now you owe a loan with interest. Well, if you got to borrow money from your friend to pay the loan, well, now now there's like a social debt, you're kind of, you're kind of, what word am I looking for? You're kind of like destroying the purity of like a friendship because now there's money involved, right? And there's all these things where it's like there is no such thing as a free lunch. Like if you create compromises, it will come back at some point or another. And it's like you said, no, it starts with like, yeah, no, that's fine. Like finally you're like, just leave the kids alone. And it's like, fast forward 10 years and it's like, I'm not a bigot. I sucked 3 dicks last month. Like, leave me alone. Like, my compromise is you can't put it in my ass, but like, I'll suck your dick. And it's like, no, the more you just don't draw lines and stand by them, like you will eventually reap, whatever it is that you sowed. And I think that's kind of what it comes down to with really, I mean, even just from my own experiences with this podcast is like the moment you start like bending a little bit or apologizing the slightest bit, and that doesn't mean don't be humble. That doesn't mean don't accept criticism where criticism's due. And if the criticism hurts, it's probably because there's some truth in there. But the moment you start bending or giving into coercion, you've essentially destroyed it. It's not dead now. It might take a couple years, but like the thing will die. And there's kind of just some like meta themes in there for a podcast to a nation to like an entire species is if you start bending over and just allowing a little here and a little there, you're just getting pushed closer and closer to the cliff where you will eventually have to fight back. And then you're fucked.
Yeah. On the when you kind of like zoom out, the grand scale of that I think is, I'm always thinking about it in terms of like society and culture, and it feels like we're getting pushed back against that cliff. But the reality is, like we laid it out, like there's no way for like it's all a bluff,
Yeah.
right? And as soon as I don't like the term the silent majority, but I don't think it's true.
The term's so gay.
But it's also just not. It's not real. You
Yeah.
think like there's just. I mean, I do think there's like I think 90% of people don't really care, but I do think it's like I don't know all of these like social issues. They're they're going to swing back so hard the other way,
Yeah.
so hard, and it's going to go faster than it took to get here. They're just going
Oh
to
yeah.
go, nope, nope, we were wrong. That's demonic and evil. We're not doing it anymore.
Oh, there's gonna be whiplash.
Major whiplash.
Like metaphorical breaking of necks is gonna
Yeah.
be think of how much younger generations rebel against their parents simply because they're teenagers. No other
Yeah.
logic than fuck you. Like that is the logic. Like I had hair down to my eyebrows and ears because I went to a private Catholic school and who said you weren't allowed to have hair past your eyebrows or ears. So I rode the line. As soon as I mean, I was in college for maybe 3 months when I like buzzed it. Like, how long can your hair be? And everyone's like, what? You're in college. And I was like, oh, long hair's annoying. It's been that way for a decade and a half. I never cared about it. Was just fuck you. Imagine what's going to happen in like 10 years when you have a bunch of people who are mutilated. They've removed their breasts or they've removed their ball. I mean, literally removed their genitals.
Yeah.
It's going to,
I'll tell you what I think.
yeah.
I think the doctors are going to be in prison.
Yeah, no, there'll be like retribution against that. There'll probably be like extrajudicial retribution. Probably gonna have some people fucking killing doctors, and I don't condone that. I just mean realistically,
No,
you're
I
gonna have
think
some
for
people
sure.
snap.
Totally. I mean, imagine if you're like, a dad and like that happens to your daughter and some other stuff in your life, and maybe it's a slight psychiatric condition. Like, yeah, I think it's almost inevitable.
Yeah, it's gonna snap back so far for no other reason than it's just a pendulum. Like whether or not it's now, I personally think it's good that it snaps back, but regardless of my opinion, it seems like it will simply
I think our
because
I think our job is to prevent it from snapping back, but to effectively diffuse that, like
diffuse
diffuse
the
that snapback. Like we need to bring it back, but we need to bring it back in a way that's like not going to have such like catastrophic consequences. The problem right now is like historically that's always been done through the polls, and those are totally bullshit. So
yeah.
it's like, okay, well that's a bummer because
I don't know. I don't
there's
know.
kind
I
of
don't know
like
why I just assumed that you're talking about Polish people. Like the Poles are the great arbiter of
typically the
something.
polls come through and save the day, but obviously that's not
There's just a council of fucking Polish people in like some high court made of marble, and it's like the Poles have decided that culture is going the opposite
Ta-
way.
talking elections again. I'll just get in because we were talking about
Yeah, go for it.
running.
I don't care.
I want to get my 24 prediction on the record.
Okay.
So I
Monday,
can
May
say it
1st,
till just
2023, 5:05 p.m. Eastern time.
it's going to be Trump Kennedy's going to be the ticket.
You think Kennedy's gonna jump from the DNC?
Yeah. Well, he's not going to get the nom, right?
No, of course not.
But like, and I'm being optimistic. This is never going to happen. But wouldn't that be great? Like, they love bipartisan, but like Trump Kennedy to me would be like such a powerful ticket,
That would be insane.
right? Like if he got the nomination, he's going to beat out DeSantis. But here's the thing: is they're 100% going to lose unless they do some shit like.
He's gonna lose?
Trump, 100%. There's no question.
Well, they're gonna. Well, what do you mean? Just like rig the election?
I think yes, they'll rig the election, but I think he'll probably lose on his own merits. I just think that
Really?
I think the base on the right's so I think they just don't have anybody. Trump is not Trump from 2016, right?
No.
And in 2020, like they lost, and yeah, it was rigged, but like stop crying, you fucking lost, bro.
Yeah.
Like you did lose. You're not in the White House.
Yeah.
I don't think it was legitimate in any slice, but like, I mean, like look around. You're getting indicted all over the place.
Hmm.
Like, you fucking lost.
He almost is like too radioactive, right? The name, and even though I think like Trump derangement syndrome's retarded, and I think people's obsession with him is just there's no like rational examination of it. It's guttural. It's primitive. It's just fuck him. I hate him. Um, and it may be a
I mean, it's
compromise
not
on
real.
yeah, no. But it may be a compromise on our part, even to go, he's too toxic. But I mean, just being realistic, he is so radioactive that even if he ran on like a platform of like, yeah, I just want to end pedophilia, people hate him so much that they'd be like, kids deserve to get fucked. Like they hate Trump so much
Yeah.
that you almost need to put in someone else to run anything.
But I think, yeah, he's definitely radioactive. Okay, so if let's say Trump gets the nomination, the reason he loses is because you get the exact same fervor to vote against Trump as you had in the two elections prior. So that's huge. That's a major working against you. You also, at the same time, I think even if he wins the nomination, and like if you've heard him speak lately, it's very like he sounds like a neocon basically. It's just like it's pretty boring. Like it's nothing like what he
It's
was
not
saying in
2016
16.
Trump, no.
No, so it's like okay, so you basically just you feel kind of I hate to say it, but sort of compromised at worst. At best, you're like,
Watered down.
getting older and watered down, and you just a bunch of people since this miraculous thing happened have come in and kind of they have their claws in him and are very influential in the direction that his whole platform has taken. So now you have a less enthused base, a still highly enthused opposition. So like I think he would lose. Forget the rigging. I think he would
Yeah.
just lose. So
Yeah, with the and the rigging was so retarded, not I mean not to mention treasonous, but like it was so retarded because I genuinely there's not it's not like it's not like when somebody loves a band and they're like, I love this band, and you listen to it, you're like, yeah, it's not really my thing. You know, I don't like death metal or something or whatever. I don't like
right,
techno.
yeah,
And somebody's just like so taken aback. They're like, what do you mean? It's like, I get that you love that. And I get that your love for that is the same as my love for whatever. But I don't love death metal. Just like someone that loves death metal probably doesn't love Blink 182 or like Katy Perry, right? I don't have that like deluded mindset where I'm like, how did he lose? No, I get it. Yeah, 330 million people. Yeah, he's a brash guy. He's an asshole. I get it. I fucking absolutely. You're a progressive. You're a feminist. You fucking hate. Sure, I get it. Big, mean, straight white guy worth $1 billion says grab him by the pussy. Yeah, no, I get that. I get that like on a human level. My problem with the rigging is that like I watched with my own eyes, like the 5 states where he was leading, the 5 swing states all paused at the same time, and the votes went in the opposite
yeah,
direction.
yeah,
If that's how Trump won, I would be sitting here going, that was the sketchiest fucking election I've ever seen. So,
totally.
regardless of rigging, I think you're right. I think that there are people that just hate him so badly that he won't win for that reason. There is such a large contingent of people that will vote anyone but Orange Man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's the sad thing is now we have both working against us. Is you have the fact that we actually just don't have a candidate that's exciting as we did in 2016, and even in 2020 he wasn't as exciting. But like I think I think there was this sense of like the COVID stuff. I think really drove a lot of people to switch and I think support Trump, even though it's not like he was great on COVID, but it was so clearly coming from the left, right? The whole COVID thing. So that it was like de facto, like this is your pro mask vaccine, like everything anti the pharmaceutical stuff. Like that all became associated, I think, with the right for a lot of voters. And so Trump probably benefited from that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. The election rigging, I don't understand how anyone with like a modicum of sense can look at it and be like, well, the mail-in voting, like it came in, it's like you literally just the graph,
Yeah.
right? Because
Right.
I also like you, I was watching it in real time and people
Yeah.
were going to bed and they were like, oh, this one's
Oh, me too.
pretty much this is locked. And so I just kind of kept watching and they're like, well, hang on a minute. It was like 2 a.m. and I was in California. So like that was real late in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
But that thing, and they're like, oh well, a bunch of ballots arrived. And I'm like, so why didn't it fucking go like this the whole time?
Yeah.
Why did it just happen there? Oh,
Yeah.
because everybody went to bed and he was gonna win. So
Yeah.
they found the ballots.
This is how
Makes
I
no sense.
this is how I know this is how I know he won. It's not because I saw conservative people cheering, but because I saw every liberal friend I have melting down on Facebook saying, I can't believe he fucking won again. They thought he won.
Yeah,
That's how I know
yeah, yeah,
is real.
yeah, yeah.
But
And nobody other than Fox News, who called Arizona early,
yeah, fucking cocksuckers. He won.
knew that.
There's like 3% of the votes for him. They're like, it's a wrap.
Yep, clearly he's got this one.
So well, then you gotta like flesh that whole thing out and go, well, who did it? Who made this happen? And you go, this didn't happen without approval, if not total execution by the highest levels of government. This isn't.
Yeah.
This wasn't like a. This isn't like a shitty '80s movie where like a ragtag team of fucking neon-haired dykes from Portland were like, "We're taking down Orange Man." Like, no, this was either this was CIA or it
But
didn't happen. Like,
it was I believe if you get as close in as possible, I think it's elements of the sort of establishment, executive branch, White House, CIA,
intelligence community.
FBI, intelligence community, and you don't need a ton of people involved.
No.
You just need a ton of people. You just need them to be able to then go execute.
Yeah.
And they hire the bagman for the ballots, and they put in the good word at Facebook, like, oh, I think this Hunter Biden laptop story might be Russian disinformation, and Facebook goes, all right, do
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And then you get a couple influential people to like because it was full scope. It wasn't just the actual rigging. I think the
The
biggest
meat.
thing was the social media and
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, forget
Banned.
corporate like legacy media, but well, and social media, the ban stuff, but then also like the get out to vote campaigns that were like sponsored by Meta and Facebook and
Yeah.
Zuckerberg and all this shit. Like, what's the time? Time had a cover piece, which was basically
The
like
secret campaign
the
to
the
fortify the
secret
2020
pain. Yeah,
election.
yeah. This is just like I sent that to a relative of mine when they were like, I can't believe you believe that. I'm like, they bragged about it. They wrote an article about it.
Yeah.
Like like the wording is their perspective for sure, but like I could rewrite it and say like, yo, check out how we just stole the election.
Well,
That's
and
what it says.
do you know that there was a team of former intelligence officials on it's now been declassified, and I'll have to find I need to get the receipts, so I'm not just making claims. But they were put together and it was like this like secret team that was advising social media companies on how to, control election disinformation. Did you know every member of the team was a former director of the CIA? Dude, that is a
So
group
many
as
funny
elite. That is a
coincidences.
group as elite as men who have walked on the moon. Like not like one or two of them. The team was entirely composed. It's like the U.S. Dream Team in the Olympics in '92 or whatever. Like Michael Jordan, Larry Bird. It wasn't
Yeah,
like, oh, they got a couple
stupid.
good people on there. It's like those are provably the best NBA players in U.S. in world history, right? They
Yeah,
won every game by like 90 points.
yeah. I'm
So
sure one or two of them are gonna watch this and be like, "Ew,
yeah,
thank
yeah,
you." I take that as a compliment.
they're like, They go home, they go home, and their wife's like, "Why are you smiling?" They're like, "I saw a podcast today. Somebody noticed your old man is a real hero." Like, tell us again, Daddy, how you saved the Republic. But like, then there's like it starts to dawn on you where you go, "Oh, it wasn't that a fast one was pulled by the DNC. The entire power structure was in on this."
Yeah.
And then you go, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah.
And you start to see the Leviathan right under the surface. And it's hard not to descend into nihilism, which I'm a huge opponent of. I don't think there's anything cool about being black-pilled. I think it's the pussiest shit you can do is to they can tax
But
all of
yeah.
your money, they can break down your front door, they can censor you on social media. If you seed your own mind, I don't mean seed SEED, but seed CEDE. If you seed your own mind to them,
Hmm.
that's defeat at your own hand. So
Yeah.
that being said, it's hard not to once you start to get a real grasp of like the
Dude,
machine.
I take that as a white pill. That's a battle of the ages that needs to be fought. I mean, that's an
It's a
awesome
battle
fucking
worthwhile.
that's an awesome demon to have to fight in for our
It's a great hill to
generation,
die on.
right? Like we're starting this game. It's like playing like fucking Dark Souls. We just turned the game on and we fell off a cliff, but it was actually a shortcut to the fucking like final boss.
Yeah.
We're just like, holy shit, I just got here. I don't even know how to fucking wield a sword.
Yeah.
Like I can use a smartphone, okay, but and Twitter, but
Yeah. Yeah. No, there is something hardcore about like it's like playing a video game or something. You just die, you've played it so many times, so you just put it on like veteran. And it's like,
yeah,
all right, you have limited ammo, no shield, no hood, no map, and
yeah,
like ballistics are turned on high, there's bullet drop, and your enemies have cloaks. It's terrifying, but it's also like the fight of you're like played a video game that you've played a million times and you turn it on hard and it's like a new game. You're like, oh my God, what the fuck is this?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like it makes you
And it,
stand up straight. You're like, oh,
yeah,
you're like,
hits
fuck
you
it.
in like I don't know what like see something down here deep in the bottom of your back. You're like, shit, fuck,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's
You're
gonna
like,
hurt.
like sacral. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it kind of like jacks you up. And
Yeah,
that is, yeah, it like
I mean,
is you,
fucking like I don't know shit. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a Christian believer, but
mhm.
like I also don't know shit. Like, what the fuck is going on around us? Like, I don't know, man. I just got here. So like, if we're gonna live and we're gonna die, like fucking like cool, you know? I agree with you. I mean, it's scary, but like every other fight between good and evil in human history has been kind of boring, actually, in perspective, right?
Kind of been,
Because it was really
it's kind of been
pretty
faking
clear
gay.
lines. It was, yeah, right. Like you had, oh, they're the bad guys. Like they're so obviously bad. It's like we have the biggest bad guy in the history of the universe, and like nobody even fucking knows.
Yeah. Yeah, there is something, and this is taking a lot of arrogance on my part and Schuyler's part, is we're like those pussies in World War II. But like, no, right? There is something easier when it's like
But
that's
it
the
was like that was clear cut
no,
good and
no, no,
evil.
absolutely. Those are the bad guys. They're literal Nazis, and they're putting people in concentration camps. Like we're just gonna go fight them. Everyone's on board. No one
Yeah,
hates you. The entire government, Uncle Sam's there. It's like it's a little harder when it's this vague, and it's not. You can't even resort to that primitive like. Well, I'm gonna get a gun and go die fighting. It's like you don't even know who the bad guy is. Like you kind of have an
no,
idea. You're like, I
no.
think it's the
And
deep
also
state.
the stakes are just as high,
Well, they're
but
higher.
it's
It's
not,
global totalitarianism.
but totally. And it feels, and I could be wrong, but it kind of does feel like shit or get off the pot
Yeah.
window, because it's like, so we're talking about between like the tech control of the banking system and the power over our minds and the information we consume and the fact that like we're literally spending hours a day just on computers and in front of screens. It's like, well, if the people in control are evil and they have they control all of this, it's going to be kind of like an open and shut case if we pass sort of like a certain point where it's like there's no revolution happening here, or there could be, but you're gonna have to wait like 100 years and some totally fucking crazy thing, and it's gonna be this really underground. It's gonna be like
Post-apocalyptic.
the
Like,
Matrix, right?
yeah.
But it would be sweet if we kind of maybe cut it off before we got there and reinstill the values of the American Revolution and Christianity into the people who are fighting back now so that we can say, hey, no, cool. Like this futurism stuff is dope. This technology is amazing, but like it needs to be driven by a certain morality and ethos and type of people. We can't just leave it up to fucking people that are so obviously corrupt and evil
Just
and hate
evil,
humanity.
like
Right? Like
laughably evil.
they're not it's it's fine to let them be in charge when the stakes are low, but it's like the stakes are really high now, so we actually need control. So thank you, but we're gonna take back our government.
Yeah, it and I always come back to this, but I mean, when it is so absurd and the stakes are so permanent, and we're talking about like, well, who would fight for the government? And it's like, well, that won't even matter in 10 years when like strong AI comes online and they move from UAV or to like full on like robots that don't need to swear to the Constitution, just throw them or whatever the fuck you code into them. And it's so like this clearly is like the end of all battles of like it's either total lockdown, global, just panopticon prison planet.
Mm,
There is this just moment where I get you've seen Inception, right?
yeah,
When they're like at the cafe, and they're like, how's a dream? What's one thing of a dream is like you never know how you got there. And she's like, yeah. And she's like, how did you get to the cafe? She's like, well, we were just, and it's like you're dreaming.
yeah,
Part of me is like, it's so batshit that I kind of just slow down every once in a while. I'm like, what? What is this? Like, what is this real? Like, sure, I might just be at the most wild point in human history, but doesn't it almost kind of feel like, I don't know, it's almost so batshit that you start guessing. You're like, what is the real fabric of this reality? Like, does
totally.
this not seem like a triple A video game or like a
It
Hollywood
absolutely
production?
does. So we might as well fucking win.
It's a good point. Is a game or
In
not? Fucking
either
run the
in
table.
either case, in either case,
In either case, I'm gonna
then
teabag your fucking
go
corpse.
ham. Yeah, exactly.
In either way, I'm gonna 360 no scope you faggot. Like,
But I think the move is no more paying taxes. I think we just need to stop paying taxes.
I guess you
I
already
don't really
could. They would
see
just
any.
print it.
I don't see any. Here's what I think would be an effective countermeasure right now. Create a movement that's about. Actually, no. First countermeasure. The don't vote campaign. So you notice like our whole life there's been this like get out the vote, vote or die, and it's all very clearly coming from the system. Engage in your democracy. It's like all that's really doing is adding legitimacy to it.
Due to this to the
We need to
bullshit.
delegitimize. We need to say, don't fucking vote. Take your ballot that they send you without your permission, right? Which is a joke that didn't exist 6 years ago. I went to school overseas. I had to fucking apply way in advance with like lots of proofs of things to get my ballot so that I could vote in the presidential election while I was overseas. Now it's like it just shows up on your fucking doorstep. You never asked for it.
I get ballots from
Take
Georgia. I haven't lived in Georgia since 2016.
well, that's yeah, Georgia, right?
Yeah.
But like I think the campaign is take your ballot, light it on fire, and post that on social media with some fucking hashtag we figure out, right? The
Maybe
don't vote, burn your ballot campaign.
maybe that would be the move is if you can provably show that like 90% of eligible voters didn't vote and then Biden gets 81 million votes,
Right.
that might be
I
it.
mean I think there's like nice um things that can happen as a result of that on paper. But I think even from a symbolic point of view, all it does is delegitimize the election. That's what we need to do is delegitimize our
I've also
elections.
yeah.
So yeah, so I think that's a and what that's going to do. Think about the response from the system. It's not going to be nice. It's not going to be
No.
pretty. They'll actually go so far as to, what they'll probably do is say it's illegal to burn your ballot. It's not illegal to burn the
Yeah,
flag, but
yeah.
it's illegal to burn your ballot.
Yeah.
And now you have created a bunch of criminals,
Yeah.
right? And that's going to wake up people. Everything's been waking up people. The COVID, just
Yeah.
everything just is a process of waking people up. I think that wakes up a lot of people. You start throwing somebody's like cousin, or they heard some influencer on social media got put in prison because he burned his ballot. Like, the fuck? What are you talking about? Right?
Yeah.
Then then I think you start the don't pay your taxes campaign. And that's when shit hits the fan in terms of their response.
And that's how Schuyler and I will be killed, and that will be a great episode. But it's, I even now when we were talking, I was just thinking about, and we do got to wrap this one up in a couple minutes. I have a guest at 5:30, but I was thinking like maybe the very flaw itself is, even if you can find like a theoretically great leader, like a Rogan, for all the flaws, but just as for the reasons we laid out, right? I feel like are pretty rational, neutral reasons. Maybe that's the flaw in itself, is that we're like, who's going to be the leader? And it's like, dog, tribes aren't supposed to be 300 million people. They're supposed to be like 50 to 100. Like, not million, like
Yeah,
people.
just regular people.
Like, maybe that's the realization of like, no, disengage from the system, because it never, well, I mean, what do you truly get from the government?
Fuck the federal government.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
Focus, yeah, and you focus on your town, you focus on your community, you
your
focus maybe on
friends,
your
family.
state,
Yeah, yeah,
right? It's the other thing. I feel like there's a couple states with a lot of pride. I feel like most of them don't though. It's sort of like I'm from Connecticut. Who gives a fuck,
yeah.
right? I don't.
No, I think
You know.
full devolution to like 100-person tribes. Like, have your
Oh yeah,
community
yeah.
build a fucking wall, stack ammo, like grow your own food. We should just be a nation of like 1 million tribes of 100 people each. I guess that would be 3 million. That would give you
I mean,
300 million.
in a certain way, we are.
Yeah,
Maybe not that micro, but that is what we are. I think this. Going back to the bluffing conversation,
yeah,
it is what it is. You have churches, you have schools, you have small towns and stuff like that. That is the backbone of everything. And that's where
yeah,
I think the whole thing is rather white pilling. So
yeah. And I have kind of shot myself in the foot, because by saying that you should only care about 100 people around you, it is then arrogant and ignorant of me to ask for people to subscribe to my podcast so I can go over the
you
17,000
want to,
number.
how many subscribers do you have?
I'm at 16,900. Guys, tribes don't apply to podcasts. You should subscribe to this.
No, no, we're gonna have to have tryouts for the final 100.
Yeah. 100 people. Yeah. No, yeah. I do think it is white pilling.
I mean,
I really,
100 people is like a big family, you know?
yeah. No, I just mean the entire system and what we're talking about and all the demons and everything.
Yeah, I
Ba-
think from a
Based on nothing,
representation,
I still think there's a hope.
I totally think there's hope. I think it's gonna be a fun game to play. I think from a representation standpoint, I think the whole idea is antiquated. So we just kind of need to build up this secondary economy, transition over the government and its responsibilities to something new. It follows the same tenets of the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, but it doesn't look like what it does now. Like, do you need your House of Representatives guy to vote for you? Like, couldn't you
No,
fucking vote on your phone?
no,
They
that
used to, they
wasn't.
used to go to Washington back in the day because it was fucking super far away and like
Yeah,
nobody,
that was important back when you had to get on a horse and you might have died on the trip there.
right. And you're not going to count 1 million votes for every single
The
little issue.
very
You have to say,
fact that
we
I'm
elect
talking,
this guy to,
the very fact that I'm talking to someone now, I'm in Portland, Maine, and you're in San Diego. I mean, there might not be farther apart points in the United
yeah,
States.
yeah,
And not only that, but people are watching live. That right there nullifies the idea that I need someone to go vote on my
totally.
behalf.
Yeah. I think that's the source of the friction. It's like, evolution, the thing that's being replaced tends to fizzle out and die. The
Yeah.
sad thing is the thing that's fizzling out and dying and being replaced right now also is supposed to have a monopoly on violence. So it's kind of awkward transition period. So
Kind
like we need it. We need something else.
of need your armory.
Wow. And they're like, but we're so corrupt and we love power and we really don't want to stop doing this.
But
And it's
we're
like, I
blood-sucking
know.
demons who have killed millions over the world, over the
We're
centuries.
like, we
And they're like,
know,
I
we know.
know, I
I
know.
know. I
And
feel for
this
you, man. You'll get
and
your
this
pension. Don't worry. But
and
please fuck
this
off.
breakup hurts me too. I'll always love you.
Kind of. It is kind of like that.
I have some sentiment. I like the flag. I get it, but you guys gotta understand you're kind of fucking kids on an island, and we're not for that.
We kind of want to kill you for that. So,
Yeah, kind of, you gotta. I'm not happy about this either. There's a reason why I chose a public place, so you wouldn't make a fucking So you wouldn't.
The reason we're talking at Starbucks.
There's a reason we're at Chili's right now, so you
I
wouldn't
hope
make a
that's the end of the
scene.
game is you and like a single shadowy figurehead of the system
It's just me and like
at,
fucking like a
breaking up at
Rothschild.
Starbucks.
It's just
Yeah,
me
you
with
and a
like a
Rothschild
it's
breaking
me
up
with
at a
Evelyn the
Starbucks.
Rothschilds at Chili's being like, no, well, we'll take the mozzarella sticks, and I'm just
You'll
like,
pick up the tab. You'll be like, I got it.
I got
Anything
it.
else you want?
Yeah, I'll got it.
Do you want the onion rings?
I know you're worth $100 trillion. I'll pick up the tab.
I know you invented money and this whole
I know,
system is yours, but I'll pick
I
up the
know this
tab.
is a literal occult tribute to you, but I'll pick up the tab anyway. Don't cry. Be happy that it happened. Be happy that you ran the show for a couple millennia. All right. But
I want this to be like I want this to be an anime fanfic, you know.
I gotta go because you are a satanic pedophile. All right. Don't you
No,
change.
it's not personal,
It's a
except
little
for it is, and you're going to hell. But
it is a little it is a little personal, and in Christ's name I spite you. But you just give him a little peck on the cheek as you're leaving. Well, with that, guys, subscribe to the podcast. Go subscribe to the fucking podcast and the locals and whatever, and go follow Schuyler on Twitter or don't. I don't give a shit. Do whatever you want. I don't give a fuck. Don't make me look like an idiot in front of Schuyler. Go follow him on Twitter. Unsubscribe from my podcast and go follow Schuyler. I think that there's the bluff.
15,900 people go unsubscribe. Subscribe
Bury
to
my
me.
podcast and go follow.
Tommy wants
Schuyler.
100 people.
Yeah, no,
Figure
reverse
it out.
psychology. I no longer want the subscribers. I want an elite few. The rest of you pussies, get the fuck off my lawn.
That's what Discord's for, right?
Yeah. Discord's also for leaking top secret documents about Ukraine war, but that's another show for another time. I'll text you. I'll text you for that. I gotta wrap this one up. I got another guest in the waiting room. Schuyler, thanks for coming on, dude. Always a pleasure. Look forward to chat with you again. Thank you so much,
Much love,
man.
bro. Thank you.